Well, it must be summer because the Balmoral is back in the Isle of Man to do quite a few sailings. Unfortunately today, the weather's slightly against it. All the sun's out, the wind is getting up. But I'm going to find out all about what's on board the Balmoral with the captain, Ian. A bit disappointing, isn't it, to get off to the start with the wind?
It is indeed, yeah. The guys have been working very, very hard to get the ship ready for the start of the season. And sadly, the first day, it's too windy to carry passengers. It's a great disappointment.
And probably a lot of people don't realise how many people actually come over on this. They would normally spend a few days here, and vice versa. The Isle of Man, a lot would go for tours and do that sort of thing.
Yes, that's correct. We have a range of tours. We bring guys from southwest Scotland and we bring people from Whitehaven, and normally 200, 300, 400, depending on the weather at a time. Some stay for 4 days and come back on our last run back over, and some just come for the day. And then also we do trips around the island. We go all the way around the island from Douglas to Douglas, and we also do a trip in conjunction with the steam railway down to Port St Mary and back, and with a view of the Calf and Man.
Well, fingers crossed it'll pick up. But tell us a bit about the ship and what can people expect on this sort of vessel?
Right, another television interviewer described as not like going on a ferry, more like being chauffeur-driven in a vintage car, which I thought was a very good line. She was built in 1949, originally as one of the first car ferries to run across to the Isle of Man, the Isle of Wight. But when she was turned into an excursion vessel, the car deck was converted into the restaurant, and as such, she has spent most of her life as a day excursion trip vessel, mainly on the Bristol Channel, but in other parts of the country as well.
And how many people can you take?
Well, at a maximum number is 750, wow. But we never get to that number. A comfortable number is between 400 and 500. If we're just going up the River Thames or something like that, we get 550, 600 on board.
So how's business been? Because it always seems to be, you're coming over and there seems to be some demand for it.
Yeah, individual trips, the business is good, but overall it's always difficult to maintain these ships. They are very expensive to maintain. Compared to a modern vessel, the cost of keeping the ship. I mean, we have genuine wooden decks. The wooden decks are not for show, but just replacing one plank of wood is very, very expensive, and we have our own carpenter who's dedicated throughout the winter to replacing bits of worn timber and stuff. It is very expensive to maintain a ship like this.
So you say a bit of a vintage vessel then?
Yeah, as I say, she was built in 1949. She was the first non-military vessel to be built by Vosper Thornycrofts after the war, and in fact the lines that she have are very similar to the lines of some of the warships that were built during the war, particularly the Flower-class corvettes. When she's out of the water, you can see that she is actually a little warship.
Now, do you have to be sea hardy to go on her? I mean, or just calm waters otherwise? I mean, what's she like at sea?
She has been known to roll a bit. If anyone saw us coming in today, they'd be quite shocked that that's why we haven't got passengers on today. She did roll quite heavily coming through the entrance. No, on a passenger day, we are quite severely restricted as to when we can carry passengers from a weather point of view. And she is a comfortable ship, but she was built for speed. She can maintain about 16.5 knots, which is quite fast for a ship. She was built to nip over to the Isle of Wight and back quickly. And a ship that's built for speed, they do tend to roll a bit. But no, she's a comfortable ship. She's nice.
So if people are interested, if you haven't put them off, how do they get more information?
Well, we've got a website, which is www.waverleyexcursions.co.uk, or you can ring our office or drop by, and we've got plenty of leaflets going around. I think even the local tourists board here, they have our leaflets. And of course, we're not just for the Isle of Man. Whenever you're on the mainland, particular trips that we do on the Bristol Channel, if anyone's ever down that way, and also up the Thames through Tower Bridge. We do 2 weeks of this with the Balmoral and 2 weeks with the Waverley, going trips up and down to Tower Bridge, which has to open for us, of course, because we're too tall to get through without it opening.
Well, thanks for talking to us today. I have to tell everyone, by the way, Ian's made a special thing today to put this uniform on. You don't normally bother, do you?
Well, no, it's funnily enough, in my contract, one of the things in my contract is I have to be wearing my captain's hat whenever I'm manoeuvring the ship with passengers on board. It's so I do, and I do wear my uniform because the people like it. Yeah. People like to see it. It's a bit of fun, But yeah.